Hello traders, so I welcome you to another episode. So here's the update, right? So yesterday we actually had an analysis on GBPUSD, and if you're yet to watch the video, it's actually available on our YouTube channel. So go directly to the YouTube channel. I will also put the link in the description so that you guys can have access to the video. So during the analysis which we conducted yesterday, it was basically on GBPUSD and on USDJPY, just those two pairs. So we had a bullish opportunity on GU yesterday, and I was actually observing this corrective wave like this, and we actually had the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Although we had the breakout, you can see, and I could remember that on 1 hour I actually missed an entry. You can see, if you watch the video clearly, the one we uploaded yesterday, you see that we had a structure breakout here. Price actually consolidated a little bit around this area between the resistance and the support, but we had the resistance being broken, and I initially would like to get into the market at the breakout of this high. If we go down to our entry time frame, which is on the 30-minute time frame, you would see what actually formed around this area. So we couldn't meet up with the entry, right? It is okay, it is very okay to actually miss entry. You understand? Because it is not all the movement in the market will be able to take advantage of. But the ones we can, we have to utilize it very well. So right now you can see we had a breakout of this structure. This was the structure I was referring to also yesterday. You can see this is a very strong structure. If I drag this horizontal level, you can see that we had several touches around this resistance. This was a point where the sellers actually stepped into the market and they decided to take advantage of the market, right? But around this area you can see the sellers, the momentum among the sellers are already reduced. Okay, the pressure that the sellers were having before already reduced. So this already gave a guarantee that price was going to move further. Once we have a break, I mean a 1 hour closure above the structure, we are going to have further push to the upside, because of course the guys at the resistance level, they are the sellers. Okay, this is their region. Okay, so the buyers came from the support right here, and they decided to push price further to the upside, just like how they did around here. They decided to push price further to the upside. But guess what? As immediately price got to the resistance level, the buyers did not waste any time before they broke out of the resistance structure. This shows that the buyers in the market, the pressure that the buyers were bringing was actually very much, right? Much enough to supersede the seller's pressure. As you can see, we had a breakout and immediately price actually went further to the upside. You can see we also had the breakout of this resistance zone. So on the daily time frame, you can see that I was expecting price to break above those previous high, because this is the next resistance structure. Once we add the breakout of this resistance structure, the next available resistance structure was this particular one, which I already identified. As you can see, the current daily candle, which is today's candle right now on Thursday, is actually breaking above the resistance. Now, once we have a closure above this resistance, the next available structural resistance, which the market is likely going to approach, is this resistance level right here. Okay, because I mean, if you look at from here to this resistance, is there any other structure that the market would want to respect? Of course there is none. So the only thing we just have to do, once we have a closure like this above this structural resistance, what we just need to do is to wait for confirmation, just like how you can see on the daily. If you look at this correction, right, when price is making a trend, okay, it is actually making series of impulse and correction, or we can just say it is making series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so these are actually what makes up the trend. If you look at this downtrend actually took several months, because this is on September 2024. Yeah, September 2024, and it ended. I mean, we had a breakout or a change of trend around January 2025. But if you look at this direction to the downside, the previous high, because when we have a downtrend like this, okay, we are always concerned about the previous high, because in a downtrend, this resistance level should actually be holding firmly, because these are the areas where sellers are trying to show their strength. Once price creates a new high, the sellers are now trying to show off their strength to prove to the market that they are still in control of the market. If you look at it, you can see that here we have a new high, but we can't really recognize this as a new high because the structure low has not been broken. So, but we can see that price is actually trying to make a new high, right? So once price, I mean, if you look at this is a pullback, or we can call it a correction. Just like how this market also did the same thing, a pullback. This is also a pullback. So all of these pullbacks are very, very necessary for the sellers to prove to the market that they are still the ones in control of the market. So you can see if price finds resistance around this area, we can still see price going further to the downside. Okay, and now you can see that the sellers were the ones who made the decision to push price, because this is the seller's market. You can see this is a downtrend, and in the downtrend, the sellers are the ones most active in such market. Okay, the little buying pressure they are seeing, I mean, this is a struggle. This is a market where buyers and sellers are actually struggling to gain control of the market. So if one participant is not responding, of course, the other participant will also take control. And what do I mean by the participant? They are the buyers and the sellers. Because if you come to think about it, what are the only things we can do in the market? If you come to the market, what are you coming there to do? Is it that to buy or to sell? That's the thing. So if the buyers are not ready, what do you think will happen? The sellers will take control. And if the sellers are not ready, what do you think will happen? The buyers will definitely take control. So if the buyers are here, okay, you will see the buyers pushing price to the upside. So now when price gets to, I mean, normally the buyers are meant to the pressure among the buyers is meant to fade at some point, because this is a pullback, and the sellers are meant to now come into the market because every of those pullbacks are creating opportunities for sellers to come into the market again. And this is how it is. So right now, if the sellers are not strong enough, if the sellers are not showing much strength in the market, of course you will see the buyers gaining further control or gaining further strength in the market, and they will break the previous high. Once this previous high has been broken, it shows that the strength, the downtrend that has been holding for a very long time has actually come to an end. Just like a trend cannot keep going in that direction forever. Just like if you look at this downtrend, at some point the downtrend will get exhausted, and then the next direction will take control. Just like how we are right here, where the market changes from the downtrend to an uptrend. You can see. So this is actually what goes on in the financial market. We only have three directions in the market, which is the uptrend. This is an example of an uptrend. And we have the downtrend. This is an example of a downtrend. And the final one, which is a sideways, where price is moving between the resistance and the support. You can see here both the market, both the buyers and the sellers are on equal levels. So no one is in control. When price is creating a ranging market, we have no one in control. So you can see the previous high has been broken. It means that the downtrend right now has actually come to an end, and now we're about to begin the next bullish movement to the upside. So this is how it is. Now, this downtrend that you're seeing right here is actually the correction on the higher time frame. Higher time frame in the sense that if I go to the weekly time frame, you would definitely see this as a correction. You can see this is the correction. We have the bullish impulse, we have the bullish correction, the bullish impulse, the bullish correction, and the bullish impulse. So you can see this is just a piece of correction. But of course, if I navigate to the 4 hours or to the 1 hour, this is going to be a whole lot of downtrend, isn't it? If you look at it here, you see that this is going to be a whole lot of downtrend. And this is the reason why, navigating through the market with multiple time frames is actually the best. Uh, you can see all of the corrections that we found on the weekly. You can see it here. In fact, I had to even zoom out of the chart to be able to see all of those movements. Everything right here was a piece of correction on the higher time frame. So this is the reason why I am a top-down analyst. So which means I go from higher time frame. They are very, very important, right? So you can see here we have a correction. This is the correction right here. It was what drove the market to the upside, okay? Because for the market to move, like I said, we have the impulse and we have the correction, the impulse and the correction. So these are what makes up the direction, either uptrend or downtrend. Okay, these are what makes up the direction. You can see we also have a correction right here. We also have a correction right here. So the only thing we traders need is to understand how this market moves. When price is forming a correction, how does it move? So this is actually the knowledge that we need. You can see here we have the wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3, and then price goes further to the upside. We have the wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3, and then price goes further to the upside. Okay, and this was what we actually expected, because you can see this is also the inverse head and shoulder pattern. Well, that's by the way. Okay, so you can see how price moved bullish to the upside, which is creating the next impulsive move. So what I will be expecting from the market, or for me to make, and you can see this is the current bullish movement that the market is currently making. Here we are, the bullish impulse. Okay, we have the bullish correction right here, and finally we are making the next bullish impulse. So we have to respect the fact that price was creating a bullish correction. We could have been looking. All right, so since this is the bullish impulse, right, the only thing we just need to do is to understand the activities that is going on within this bullish impulse, because this is now where the trading opportunities is going to come in, right, because we are on the 4 hours. Now, you can see that this previous bullish correction, this is actually a downtrend on the lower time frame, like 30 minutes, where we would have actually found a lot of selling opportunities around these areas, right? And like I said, this is the previous head. I made the inverse head and the right shoulder and the left shoulder. As you can see how price broke above the previous high structure, showing that this whole correction has finally come to an end. Now, if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, so you can see how the structure resistance got broken after being tested several times by the sellers. You can see we have these areas where the sellers, the sellers actually got the buyers rejected. You can see the buyers actually went to the upside to the resistance level, trying to break the resistance, but because of how strong the sellers was, right? So that's the reason why they didn't actually give them any chance. But finally, we had a breakout of this resistance structure, and at the same time of this resistance structure. So the only thing that we need right now is to, if I go to the 30 minutes, is to understand the activity that is going on. As you can see, this is the impulsive move that we identified on the 4 hours time frame. As you can see, so here we are waiting for price to give us a bullish correction, so we can use that as a leverage to drive the market to the upside. Like I said, that every correction should give at least minimum of 3 wave. So we need to see a 3 wave correction before we go further to entering the trade. If I go to the 15 minutes, as you can see, we have the wave one, the wave two, with wave three. So sometimes it may be necessary to go more on the lower time frame to see the waves, because sometimes if you don't do that, you might not really see the waves that much. As you can see, this was a 3 wave. This was the area where I was planning to get on board on this market, but you can see I actually missed out on this, on entering the market around here. But I was able to get into the position around this area of resistance, since I was able to get a confirmation on the higher time frame. As you can see, so here we have the wave one, wave two, wave three, and also we just need to connect the points together. This is actually an ascending triangle. If you guys are aware of your pattern formation, of course, you would understand that this is an ascending triangle, and this was the area where I initially wanted to place a buy. But you can see, like I said, not all the opportunities in the market we can actually take advantage of, but the ones we can, we are going to ride them very well. That's the thing. So now, if you guys understand what this is all about, feel free to give us a like, and also to subscribe on the channel, on YouTube channel. And if you guys want more further updates, we are going to drop the Telegram link. It's going to be on the description section, and it's also going to be available on the comment section, so you guys can find the link and join our Telegram channel. Okay, we are going to be glad to welcome you aboard. All right, so this is what we have on GBPUSD. So let's go further on USDJPY. All right, so this is USDJPY. So for us to understand this market direction, I would like to go to the 4 hours. And I think yesterday we actually did this analysis from this section, from this time frame. You can see that here we are the upward direction. Now, this upward direction is an uptrend, and also it is a correction on the higher time frame. If I go to the daily time frame, you'll see that everything right here is a correction, and price is now moving impulsively to the downside. Now you can see that here for this correction, we need to understand the activities that goes on within the correction right here. So you can see that here we have the wave one, wave two, wave three, wave four, wave five, wave six, and wave seven. You can see, I mean, like I said, the minimum is 3. Sometimes you can have more than 3 waves, right? You can see. So the previous structure low got broken, but this was not enough confirmation to place a sell, because of course we need to wait for additional confirmation so as to increase our odds of winning. So we actually had to, the only thing we need in the market is our level of patience. What is your level of patience in the market? Because that is what differentiates you from beginners traders. Okay, if you want to become successful in trading, patience has to be your ultimate skill, right? So you can see here we actually had to wait for confirmation. On my previous video, we actually said that this was a symmetrical triangle, and this is the reason why I said we always need to evolve with the market. No matter how the market is moving, we should also understand that market can change. The directions of the market can also change. Even the formations of the market, they can also change. If we go to the 1 hour time frame, you would see that here I initially was expecting price to give us a symmetrical triangle, and symmetrical triangle are usually like this, where we have resistance going to the downside like this, and support also going to the downside. I mean, this is just a rough diagram of how it looks. You can see. So this is how symmetrical triangle is, and you see price dropping further to the downside. So this is actually a continuation formation. It actually continues the main direction. So what is the main direction? You can see that here we have the main direction, which is the impulse, and everything here is the correction, and we have the next impulsive move to the downside. And I also made it clear that we are going to be expecting price to go further. Even if price breaks through this resistance structure, we are still, I mean, this is actually a corrective phase. Okay, we need to understand that. And sometimes when correction is forming, we need to know the activities that is going on within the correction, because yesterday we actually took a buy, because this is the wave one, this is the wave two. So price gave us this second wave, and the wave is not completed until we have three wave. This was looking like a very valid correction, so I took advantage of this short push to the upside. Initially I was expecting price to give us this is the wave two, and then the wave three going further to the upside. You can see if I use my Fibonacci tools from the swing high and the swing low, so you can see the 61.8 is actually the resistance structure, which the market actually, eventually got to the resistance structure and approached the 61.8. But you can see that the market actually had to come to the downside before approaching that level. But you can see this is the reason why I said we can always do well to evolve with the market. Whenever the market is changing direction, always do well to evolve with the market. Okay. So here we can see we took a buy from here, and we were able to get out of the market. If I go to the 30-minute time frame, you can see that we had a change of direction. Immediately we had the breakout of the structure, I quickly opted out of the trade, because of course this market was going to make this is the wave one, the wave two, the wave three, right? So the wave three, we need to understand how this formation occurs, because there is no reason why price will break a structural low when price is making an uptrend. Okay, so this was the confirmation that we might actually have further push to the downside. So I don't, in market we need to cut losses. So although we as a trader, we have different ways of how we cut our losses, and this is actually a specific way which I do cut my losses. I mean, if I place a sell around this area of support, right? Place a sell around there, and price went further to the downside and then retraces to the upside, and then breaking above the structure high. Of course, it's actually a good reasons why I should close my trade, because everything right here could be the impulse, the correction, and impulse to the upside. So I would not want to, by any chance, go in loss or endangering my account, seeing price going further to the upside like this, or approaching the stop loss level. So usually this system has actually allowed me to avoid further losses in the market. Okay, because losses is not avoidable, but we can minimize the losses, right? So this is it, right? So we actually took the trade from this area of breakout, and although I was able to catch about 20 to 15 to 20 pips in this market before price turned around to the downside, but eventually price still went to the upside, and you can see it found a strong resistance here, because this is the area where sellers are bound. Okay, this is the area where sellers are found. So yeah, of course the market, the reason why price could not break through the resistance structure is because we have a lot of selling pressure. The amount of buying pressure around this support level was not enough to overpower the sellers around this level. So you can see this is the reason why they said it's actually a war between the buyers and the sellers. This is the buyer and this is the seller. So the buyer, the strengths among the buyers were not enough to break the resistance level, and that's the reason why the sellers, of course, came into the market and they drove price to the downside. As you can see, look at the speed of how price, push the market to the downside. So now this is the current phase of the market, which is the impulsive phase. This corrective phase has actually come to an end. And if we go to the daily time frame, this is on the daily time frame. As you can see, we have a downtrend. You can see that here, this is the structure. I mean, I think I actually used Fibonacci level from the swing low to the swing high. This is right here. So you can see all of the structures, this 50% were broken, 38.2 were broken, 61.8 was also broken, and the next available structure for the market to approach is the 78.6. This is the level that the market is likely going to approach, right? But you can see we also found, I mean, we also drew this support structure right here. Now, this support structure is not part of Fibonacci level, but I mean, this is the previous high. You can see previous resistance, which is now a support right here. So there was, I mean, we drew this long before this market actually came to the downside. So there was enough reasons why price, is currently rejecting this area. As you can see, this is the current rejection. So now what we are expecting the market, I mean, the formation from the market right now is to see price uh, creating further retracement to the upside. At least this is the previous broken structure, and you can see that the structure has not been retested. Tomorrow is NFP and we are looking forward to short this market. But before that, we need to see the activities. Just like I said, before I place a trade, I would wait for a formation, a correction in here to be precise. Okay, a correction to be precise before placing a trade. I mean, this is what professional traders do, right? They wait for the right moment, and once the right moment has been observed, they take advantage of the moment. So you can see how price is creating a bullish candle, and here this is most likely going to be a form of correction, something like this. And once the formation has been completed, we can take advantage of the next bearish impulse. So mind you, this is the formation that is active. You can see the impulsive move has ended and the corrective move has also ended. And this is the next impulsive move that we are likely going to take advantage of. So if you guys want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also join us on Telegram for further updates. Alright guys, so thank you for staying with us and we are going to see you on our next episode. Have a great day guys.